بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله النبي الكريم. Continuing on with the chapter of Hajj. I don't think we'll be able to finish Hajj al-Ifrad. We were discussing regarding the first type of Hajj, which is the individual Hajj, just Hajj. So today won't be that long, inshallah. Um, but I did want to cover some parts as much as we can, inshallah. So we stopped after Muzdalifah, right? So a person is in Muzdalifah. As I mentioned, Muzdalifah is this is the 10th day of, or the ninth day, I'm sorry, the ninth day, or you can say the ninth night, um, meaning the ninth day, the night after that. So this is technically the 10th night, which is preceding the 10th day, right? As you know, in Islam, the night comes before the day. So technically, this is the 10th night. So the 10th morning, this is around Fajr time. You're looking around Fajr time. In Muzdalifah, as I mentioned in the previous class, that ideally you should wake up a bit earlier. I mean, it's unlikely that you'll be able to sleep much. Even if you get like 2-3 hours of sleep, it's good, mashallah. And you sleep as much as you can. Wake up a bit early before Fajr, obviously, because let's say about half an hour before Fajr, probably half an hour to 1 hour before Fajr, there will be huge lines, right? But if you walk a bit, maybe to the further bathroom and you do wudu there, use the bathroom there, then it'll be easier. The bathrooms are, a bit dirtier than Mina, but I mean, if you have to use the bathroom, you have to use the bathroom, right? So just go a bit further, take your time and use the bathrooms there. And then you pray Fajr as soon as the time of Fajr comes in, you'll see so many people, they're having their own separate jama'at. Have your own jama'ah and start walking. My recommendation, meaning you can either walk or you can take the bus, right? The buses will transport you to Mina, and then from Mina you have to walk to the Jamarat, right? Now, it's up to you. If you're healthy, if you're fit, you can just start walking from Muzdalifah, right? Just start walking immediately after praying Fajr. You start walking. It's maybe another 45 minutes, essentially, right? Make sure you have water with you. And as I've said this multiple times, if you are planning on going for Hajj, then you should prepare months in advance, right? Months in advance, right? So for example, I was speaking to someone recently and he's talking about how he's planning on running the marathon, right? Or half marathon or something, right? And so he said that, there are these apps that prepare you. So they have like 14-week plan, to prepare you for the marathon, right? Or even the half marathon. So that's also my recommendation, that before going for Hajj, I would say at least 3 months before, right? 90 days before, you should start preparing. And 90 days is what? Is around, Ramadan, essentially. Ramadan, immediately after Ramadan, that's the time where you can consider like 90 days, right? And so right now we're about 100 days, you can say. 100 days from Hajj, more or less, right? Because Hajj is around about 2 months-ish, a little over 2 months after Eid, Eid al-Fitr. And so therefore, including Ramadan, that's about 3 months. So if you are interested in going for Hajj, you should start preparing now, right? Start going on regular walks now. And then obviously in Ramadan, if you can schedule some time, whether it's just before iftar or maybe after Taraweeh, for example, or sometime, just try to schedule some time. If you are going for Hajj, schedule time for a little bit, just a little walk. It'll be extremely beneficial, inshallah. And this year, because the days a bit shorter, nights a bit longer, it doesn't hurt to walk for half an hour on a treadmill, for example. And if necessary, maybe buy a simple treadmill at home or something. Also not a bad idea. Anyways, so you can walk. So from Muzdalifah to Mina, it's about maybe 45-minute walk. Personally, I walked it. It's not that difficult. I had one brother, random, one of our group members, or a couple of our group members. Specifically, we walked together, and alhamdulillah, it was not that bad, right? You walk past, instead of stopping at Mina, just go directly to the Jamarat, and it's all in all, it's about an hour and a half maybe walk, an hour and a half, 2 hours walk. You should have good sandals, right? Because mind you, you're in the state of ihram. You're wearing the clothes of ihram, and so therefore it'll be difficult if you don't have proper footwear, right? So make sure you have proper footwear, simple, good sandals, which you can walk in. And if it's difficult for you, then take the bus and then walk. But understand you do have to walk a lot in in on the days of Hajj. Anyways, moving on. Let's go through the Arabic a bit. ثم أفاض الإمام والناس معه قبل طلوع الشمس. So before the sun rises, people will already be gone. You'll see like hundreds of thousands of people just walking, and obviously millions of people are there. They're just walking, right? Or many of hundreds, I guess maybe at least half of the people there are walking. But a lot of people are walking, and then of course there are a lot of people that are taking the bus as well. I saw so many elderly people, so many disabled people. I saw so many blind people walking. It was shocking to me, right? Again, I'm sure they could have, but subhanAllah, they could have, either taken the bus or maybe they could have had wheelchairs, for example. They were walking, subhanAllah. So they gave me a lot of courage as well. You'll see a lot of people much older than you, much, in a much worse situation than us. Yet they're struggling and they're working hard. For us, realistically, let's be honest, we have a very, very, very simple Hajj. Let's be honest, right? So many people they're complaining, oh man, the booking of the package is hard and so on. Honestly, that's probably the most difficult part, or one of the most challenging parts, is booking the package. Aside from that, everything else is pretty straightforward. Like you go there. I mean, most of us we have very good hotels, and so you're there not too far from where you need to be. And alhamdulillah, it's very comfortable for us. We have access, we have money if you need to buy food or drinks or anything like that, you can. And as I said, like many of us, or some of us, not many of us, but some of us are extremely wealthy. And so as I said, I know people who spend hundreds and thousands of dollars on taxis, right? Just going from simple places. And yes, you do need to negotiate, right? I mean, if you are taking a taxi, let's say you're forced to take a taxi from one place to another during the days of Hajj, you should negotiate. Don't just, whatever the first guy says, I'll take that. No, if you're planning on going, make sure you speak to a couple of people. The first taxi, maybe they're charging too much. Take the next one, right? Speak to the next one. Generally, depending on where you need to go, 50 to 100 riyals, which is about, you know, uh, like about 25 bucks, right? 100 riyals is about 20, 25, $30. That's probably reasonable, right? So that's understandable. But if someone is charging you hundreds of riyals, it's unlikely that it's a good offer, right? And don't take it. I know many people, they become desperate, right? Don't give in to that desperation. Wait, take your time. If there's elderly people with you, put them to a side, for example, and then you negotiate. You speak to the people, right? And sometimes what they do is they charge based on the number of people that are joining the vehicle. I don't know how that makes sense, but sometimes they do that. They say, okay, 50 for you, 50 for you, which is fine also. It's not a big deal, right? You just split the cost. That's also fine. Or you just pay for the other person as well. It's not a big deal. Oftentimes, if you travel in groups, it's a bit more cost efficient, right? But anyways, a lot of there's a lot of there's a huge learning curve there. Right? You'll make mistakes and you'll learn, right? But just don't make too many big mistakes. Anyways, so you'll leave Muzdalifah. حتى Mina, they'll come to Mina. Well, technically you don't need to go inside your tents, but you come to Mina area. فيبتدوا بجمرات العقبة, and the Jamarat are in Mina, right? So you'll begin with the big shaitan, you can say, right? And فيرميها من بطن الوادي بسبع حصى. Obviously, this is the 10th morning, right? People will be celebrating Eid. You'll be there, and 10th is like a very, very, very busy day for you, right? And so you're there. 9th was very busy, right? You had Arafah, and then you had Muzdalifah, and but 10th is probably a bit more difficult as well. So you go to the Jamarat, everyone is, oh, in Muzdalifah, I mentioned this last time also, but you pick up some stones, you pick up some small pebbles, right? They don't need to be stones. Many people, they make the mistake. They take like, oh, I need to get the biggest ones possible. It needs to count, right? So you don't need the biggest stones, right? Even small, again, chickpea size is sunnah. So like this size, right? This size is sunnah. Very small size, like maybe the tip of your finger. That's how small it should be. That's the recommended size. Okay. You take those chickpea sized stones, and 7 of them you throw. Sometimes people, they're like, I'm going to throw 10 of them just for good measure. You don't need to do that, right? count Bismillah and then you throw and so therefore you shouldn't throw unnecessarily, right? And so but just be careful when you're going. Obviously, as I said, many people are doing it, and so you don't want to be in a difficult situation. You don't want to put yourself or other people in harm's way. Just take your time, and the idea, especially for the first day, the 10th day, the earlier is better. Right? So if you're walking, for example, likely you'll make it before the people on the bus. Likely. If you're walking, you'll make it before the people on the bus. So therefore, that's better. You can make it back, right? So I walked, I was able to make it back, I forget, I remember like 9 or 10 a.m., alhamdulillah. And I was able to clean up and do whatever I need to relax a bit also. And then people started slowly coming in around afternoon and so on. So um, that's better. Try to do it earlier. On the 10th day, try to do it earlier. I'll give you tips as I go through it. Just imagine yourself in the situation. So you start with the big jamara, um, throw seven pebbles like chickpeas. ويكبر مع كل حصاد, right? مع كل حصاد, right? You'll say your takbir, Bismillah, Allahu Akbar, or Allahu Akbar. You'll say that at every single time you throw. Allahu Akbar, right? And you throw it. ولا يقف عندها. But you won't stop there. After you finish your seven, and also another tip, instead of, most people what they do, right? The jamara is here. Everybody's coming this way. People, they come and they pelt here. You don't need to pelt here. Come around. You can come around. It's just logic, right? You just come around, and most people are just walking away, and over there's a lot of space. So here, there'll be a lot of congestion. Just come around, and then you can pelt from the other side. That'll be easy as well, right? And after you finish pelting 7 times, you will not stop. Meaning, you will not stop to make dua or anything like that. You will just carry on. وَيَقْطَعُ التَّلْبِيَةَ مَعَ أَوَّلِ حَصَاتٍ, right? Once you say Allahu Akbar with the first one, you stop saying talbiyah. Prior to that, you should be saying talbiyah, but once you throw the first stone, you should stop talbiyah. ثم يذبح إن أحب ثم يحلق أو يقصر. Then, so now you're from the jamarat, you're going back to your tents. Right? Depending wherever your tent is, you go back to your tent. Let's say, let's say 45 minutes, hour, whatever. You get back to your tents, take a breather, relax. Now, what he's saying is that now you should sacrifice the animal, right? So if it was the regular situation, it would be hard. Now you're going to go sacrifice. You have to go find it. I mean, many people, they would take their animals with them, and then they would go and sacrifice, cut, clean, and do all of that, right? And then distribute the meat and so on and so forth. But for us, it's very simple, right? Most of us, we have like contacts, and our travel agencies, they generally help with that. So for example, our travel agency, they do it as well. So all you have to do is just pay them $200 or so, and they're doing like maybe hundreds of animals. And so you just sit there, you relax in Mina, you're relaxing, eating some food, drinking, whatever you need to do. And then they'll send you a text. Oh, alhamdulillah, so in our travel agency, what they do is they just sacrifice all of them, and then they send a mass text that, all of the animals have been sacrificed. You can now go trim or cut your hair or shave your hair. So then everybody, whoever is in that group, you can go and I do recommend, please, many people, they forget this. Many people forget to pay their deposit or something. You must pay. You must pay for the animal beforehand, because otherwise, they will not arrange for your animal. So make sure you pay in advance, right? Yes, it's possible to get it last minute, but don't wait last minute. Try to pay well in advance. It's generally, most places it's similar. If I'm not mistaken, it's around $200. If I'm not mistaken, or is it around? I don't remember the exact number, but if I'm not mistaken, it should be around $200. Just do it in advance. Speak to someone that you trustworthy, and do it. After that, after they send you that text message, you can go and shave or trim your hair. There are a lot of people, in the Mina camps who are doing it. You can do it yourself, or you can have somebody else do it for you. I recommend having somebody else do it. Don't shave your own head. It's not worth it. It's not worth the $5 that you'll save. You know what I mean? Because I did it also. Right? Oh, I was like, I don't need somebody else to do it, and then I cut myself. And now you're cutting yourself, and you're like, oh man, I have to like. Dealing with that is another misery. Right? Okay, I'm bleeding. Now you have to wait for it to stop bleeding and so on. I didn't think it was a big deal. It was not because of money. It was just, I was like, okay, it's not a big deal, right? But it does get annoying. So those types of things, outsource it. You don't need to do everything, right? Outsource it. Have somebody shave your head. That's fine. Or trim your hair. That's fine. Right? As I said, there will be many people there, so you can ask anybody. And obviously, shaving is better, but that's fine. وَقَدْ حَلَّ لَهُ كُلُّ شَيْءٍ إِلَّا النِّسَاء. Then once you have done once you have shaved, you trim your hair. Now everything is halal for you except women. Meaning you can now do everything. You can wear your regular clothes and then it's relaxed, right? Now you're finally relaxed. Why? Because up until that point, you're in ihram clothes, you're wearing chappals, and it's like difficult, right? Now you can shower nicely, clean up, and so it's very comfortable, right? Everything is halal except for women. Okay. ثم يأتي مكة من يوم ذلك أو من الغد أو من بعد الغد. Now you have essentially 2.5 days. 2.5 days to do the last remaining, or a very important thing, which is tawaf ziyarah, right? So you have to do tawaf ziyarah, which is basically going to Makkah. So you're in Mina right now, going back to Makkah and then doing tawaf, right? That's tawaf ziyarah. There's another tawaf, which is tawaf al-wida', which is coming later on, which you must do as well. The tawaf ziyarah, it's necessary. You must do it. So in the entirety of Hajj is basically two things. This most other things you can like kind of make up for, but these two things you must do. Number one is staying in Arafah, and number two is this tawaf ziyarah. You must do it. So anytime you can go to Makkah, my recommendation is maybe don't go immediately, because many people they go immediately. Again, this is the 10th day. You've just shaved your head. You're out of ihram clothing. Now, many people, they just go immediately right there. Now, that's hundreds of thousands of people who are going at that time. I would say it's difficult, right? My recommendation is wait. If not that night, you can go that night, right? You can go that night and do it. Or if you want to go the following night also, that's fine as well. Okay. So either the 10th night, which is actually the 11th night, or which is okay, 10th, 11th night, or you can go the next night, which is also fine as well. So you essentially have 2.5 days to do this طواف زيارة. فإن كان سعى بين الصفا والمروة عقيب طواف القدوم لم يرمل في هذا. Then he talks about how لم يرمل في هذا الطواف ولا سعي عليه. Again, this is Hajj al-Ifrad. This when you're only doing Hajj, and so many people when they come, they do tawaf al-qudum, as we spoke about before. They do tawaf al-qudum, which is just basically just tawaf. And then if you did sa'i at that time, then you don't need to do sa'i here, because sa'i is only necessary one time. But if you didn't do sa'i at that time, then you should do sa'i here. Again, it's a bit just information. If you remember it, alhamdulillah. Most people will not remember it. I'm just saying it anyways. رمل في هذا الطواف. Okay, and you should do ramal also. ويسعى بعده على ما قدمنا. Then you should also do sa'i afterwards. وقد حل له النساء. Once you finish طواف زيارة, then you can also have relations with your spouse as well. Then everything is halal for you. وهذا الطواف هو المفروض في الحج. This طواف is فرض in Hajj. You must do it. ويكره تأخيره عن هذه الأيام. Right? Many scholars they say that it's makruh tahrimi to delay it beyond these days, beyond these, meaning 10, 11, 12. Right? فإن أخره عنها, if you delay it, لازمه الدم. عند أبي حنيفة رحمه الله وقال لا شيء عليه. And according to the more correct opinion, if you delay it beyond the sunset of the 12th, then you have to give dam, which is an animal, right? So you still have to do it, but you have to give dam. So ideally, you have again 2.5 days. Try to finish it within that time. ثم يعود إلى منى فيقيم بها. Okay, then so essentially, assuming you didn't do tawaf, right? Assuming you're after you came back to Mina, you're relaxing in Mina, you pray Dhuhr, maybe take a break, for example, rest a little bit. You had a long past 24 hours, take a little break, sleep a little bit, make sure you pray Asr, and then obviously Maghrib and so on. Pray, the rest of the day, maybe relax. And then he says, so assuming again, based on what I'm telling you, you didn't do tawaf. Right? فإذا زالت الشمس من اليوم الثاني من أيام النحر رمى الجمار الثلاث. Right? Now, the next day. We could stop here. Let me finish. This is day number 11. This is the 11th of the Hijjah. 11th of the Hijjah. So again, 10th after you do everything in the morning, from Dhuhr, around Dhuhr onwards, you're relaxed, you're comfortable, you can just rest for the rest of the day, right? Just, I mean, don't waste your time. Obviously, do some adhkar, recite Quran, but what I mean by resting is like, don't push yourself too much, right? You had a very busy 24 hours, so relax a little bit. It's okay, you earned it. So then 11th day after Zawal. So after the sun declines, after the time of Dhuhr starts, then you can do Rami of the Jamarat. Now, okay, I'll say this here and then I'll repeat it again next week, probably, inshallah, right? Look, there are some contemporary scholars who say that you should go and do Rami before Zawal, which is before the time of Dhuhr. Zawal is when the sun declines from the zenith, right? So, whereas the vast majority of scholars, they say it is not permissible to do Rami before Zawal. Vast majority of scholars. So therefore, I highly recommend that do not follow those opinions that say you can do it before. Some contemporary scholars, they say that you can just do it because of haraj. They say because of darura or because of need, you can do it before Zawal. I say it's not necessary to. Yes, you should not go immediately after Zawal. You should not, because that's the time everybody's going to be going. Immediately after Zawal, let's say maybe 12 to like, let's say Maghrib is like 6 o'clock, for example. Entire time is going to be very, very, very busy. Right? Technically, it's makruh to go after Maghrib. Technically, it's makruh to go after Maghrib. But it's still permissible. Understand? So before Zawal, vast majority of scholars say it is not permissible. After Maghrib, they say it's permissible, but it's makruh. So why not? You know, if it's extreme, like right now, it's like 130 degrees, for example, during the day. It's extremely hot. So because of that heat, they say go before Zawal. But before Zawal, it's also hot. So my recommendation is go after Maghrib. Go after Maghrib, go relaxed, go nicely, and go do the Jamarat. It is makruh, but it is permissible. Understand? So that's my recommendation. It is makruh, but it's better than. So we had people. So I'll tell you. So I'm not going to say who. One of our group leaders, he, in his wisdom, he said we're going to go. So he wanted to take the group at immediately after Zawal. I said, there's no way. I was like, I'm not going with you. After an hour of convincing him, he finally said, okay, we can go. Long story short, he said, we'll go at 4. Long story short, it was a huge mistake. We left at 4, and some of our group members almost died, right? Because of how intensely hot and so congested it was. It's severe. That's why next day I said, we're going to go after Maghrib. I don't care what you say. So then we went after Maghrib. It was very calm, very relaxed, very comfortable. Right? So that's my recommendation. Go after Maghrib. Don't go, although it is makruh, it is disliked, but it's better than stampede being, run over. There were people who were flat out on the ground. Right? It was tough. And then before Zawal, vast majority of contemporary scholars say it's not permissible. So don't do that. Rather take the karaha and then, still permissible. Okay, so he said, you'll count all 3 shayateen. يبتدئ بالتي تلي المسجد. You'll start with the smallest one. فيرميها ب7 حصيات. You'll throw 7 pebbles. يكبر مع كل حصاد. You'll say takbir. After every, meaning along with every pebble. ثم يقف عندها. After you finish first one, move to the side, make dua. This was sunnah. So don't stop in the middle and make dua, but move to the side and make dua. Then you go to the next one. ثم يرمي التي تليها مثل ذلك. You go, you pelt the next one, and then stand ويقف عندها. You stand there, make dua. ثم يرمي جمرة العقبة كذلك ولا يقف عندها. Then you go to the third one, you'll pelt jamarat, but you will not stop there. Okay? So 1 and 2, you stop, you make dua, but after 3, you go. All right. فإذا كان من الغد, so that's it. For day 11, that's all you have to do. You just have to go from Mina or wherever you are. By the way, it's sunnah to stay the night in Mina. Right? So if someone has a genuine excuse, they can go back to their hotel in Makkah. Okay? It's sunnah to spend the night in Mina, even a portion of the night. So if someone can spend some portion of the night, if they need, because I know Mina is a bit difficult, right? If you need to go, then okay, fine, go. But just try, if you can, still try to stay the night. But anyways, if you stay even a portion of the night, inshallah, you'll get the sunnah. Otherwise, you can go back to your hotel in Makkah, relax there essentially, sleep the night. On the 11th, all you have to do is Jamarat. Same thing. 12th, all you have to do is Jamarat. 3 Jamarat. So same timing. After Zawal, you go. Now the thing is, if you are in Mina on the 12th night, meaning which is technically 13th night, after the 12th day, after 12 Maghrib, when it becomes 13th, if you are in Mina, you must also pelt the 13th day. Okay. If you finish 12 on the 12th day, you pelt the Jamarat and then you go, you don't have to do anything else. But if you don't pelt, then you have to pelt the 13th as well. Okay. We'll stop here, inshallah. And then we'll continue, inshallah, next week. Any questions?
There will be any signs, like which one is the big one, second, third?
Yeah, there's a lot of signs. It's in English as well. At the same time, the flow of direction is one way. So you'll start from the one in front, then the next, and then the next. So the flow of direction is in one way.
But my question, like, we are staying in Muzdalifah on 10th night, 9th night, right?
Yes.
And then from Muzdalifah, 10th morning after Fajr, we are starting to go with Jamarat.
Yes.
That is a big one, right?
Yes.
And then again, we are returning to Mina again after that, right? We are not going back to Muzdalifah because
no. Going back to Mina. Mina is like 45 minutes away, depending on where you're staying.
Is it a 45-minute walk or 45-minute drive?
Walk.
Okay.
Driving might be even worse.
Oh, yeah, I was wondering, did they have different roads?
No, I mean, but it's all the roads are blocked, right?
Oh.
So you may not even find a taxi. Even if you do, they'll charge you so much.
So we will not have any belongings, anything that carry.
Just a book bag. All you need is a book bag, right? Because, I mean, food, you can, that book bag keeps some snacks, like some granola bars or something like that. But, so, for example, Muzdalifah, they give food. In Muzdalifah, they give food. So at night, they bring you food, you have that food. And then some of it you can save, for example, for the morning. But, you're not going to starve. You have water along the way, along the routes, you have water. But you should take water with you. Make sure you take water with you in that bottle. And then, this is what... 10th day, obviously you go, and so that walk is a bit hard, right? But that's it. I mean, for like 3 hours you don't get food, right? You're exercising, essentially you're walking, but you don't have food, right? If there are like stands and there are like places where you can buy food, but I recommend just taking like 2-3 granola bars. Have one. You only need one. You can share 1 or 2. I took like a bunch of snacks, so you don't need all of those snacks. Just like 1 granola bar is 2 granola bars, maybe maximum. That's more than enough. But yeah.
You do that with Jamaat or how it are you supposed to carry a phone or?
Yeah, I mean, you can have your phone. You can keep your phone with you. We're not like the Jews where you're banned from electricity or anything like that. You can use your phones. I don't recommend keeping a big Jamaat or following with a big Jamaat. From Muzdalifah, I told my group, I said, listen, that's it. From here onwards, you guys, I'll send you messages on the group and so on, but you don't need to follow me. Like, I don't need to be with you. If like 30 people are traveling together, you have to wait for every single person. So I told everybody, listen, you should have at least 1 or 2 people with you and you go. The buses are all going to the same place. Everyone is walking to the same place. So just Bismillah. If you get lost, if you have questions, just ask somebody, where's the tents, where's Ma'asing, where's this, that. But there's no point in staying with the full group, right? Like, yes, you should understand. And like, if you are somebody,
somebody is guiding. So if you're making mistakes, somebody is correcting you, right? So
yeah. So generally what I do in my groups is I do presentations. Like this is this is not really part of my group Hajj fiqh, right? Or Fiqh of Hajj, right? This is just my weekly fiqh class that I'm doing here, right? But like, for example, separately, I'm also doing, seminars. I've already started seminars with my Hajj group. I've already started seminars and weekly seminars. And after Ramadan, we'll do even more seminars. We'll do like regular seminars there as well. And then we'll do again, once we get there also. So I do like so many seminars. Like every day I'm like updating. Okay, tomorrow you have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. So like if you're going with me or if you don't have to go with, I'm not trying to make this like no, so you don't have to go with me. I don't want to like.
Yeah, I really want to know because the thing you send it, and I'm gonna call them tomorrow to find out. You don't have to answer it. But,
no, but it's a very good package, right? The package that we're going. If anyone is interested in going for Hajj, you must book. You must be verified by tomorrow. Like, if you must go, like, contact our staff tomorrow. Whoever is interested in going for Hajj, contact our staff tomorrow. Call me, text me, whatever. I'll send you the number of our staff. Just call them.
Isn't the number in there, the image you sent in? No?
I think that's my number. My number is probably there, but our staff number is also. I can text anyone who you have my number, obviously. You can just text me. I'll send you our staff number, and I'll tell you what's next. We have a very few number of seats remaining. This Thursday morning is phase 3, likely the last phase. Likely, if you're interested in going for Hajj, if you do not book it by Thursday, it's not gonna happen. It's like very unlikely.
So you can easily.
Hotels are the best hotels, like the ones just in front of Kaaba. Non-shifting also, meaning they will not shift you to a cheaper hotel. They will not do that. You'll stay in the just in front of the Kaaba, literally in front of the Kaaba. They're called Makkah Towers, literally in front of the Kaaba. And then you will in Mina. So I said 45 minutes, right? 45 minutes is for the North American tents. In our package, we're staying at the luxury tents, which are just 10-minute walking. That's literally right in front. But well, at the same time, our package is relatively cheap in the sense, meaning if you compare our package to other packages, no, it's 11,800, 799, whatever it is, right? $11,700, right? But the idea is if you compare what we are offering as opposed to what other people are offering, there's a big difference. Because we are not upcharging, like we're not charging more. A lot of other people, what they do is they charge more than what Saudi is charging. We're not charging that kind of extra.
And it's a good idea after a Hajj, you can go to Pakistan if you want.
Yeah, why not?
To
Why not?
share the goodies with them.
Sure, man. I mean, it's unlikely you're going there to share good deeds. You can go, Bismillah, why not? Yeah, you can go, Bismillah, why not? It's not a bad idea. Yeah, why not?
I'll have a better phone.
We also, by the way, we also take groups for Pakistani passport holders.
Yeah, I do have that.
No, I'm saying we also take groups for Pakistani passport holders. Yeah. So if you wanted like luxury, but
I don't want luxury. I'm a small guy, so
oh, that's
I'll go for less luxury. Little
okay,
hardship
up to you.
is fine.
That's fine. That's fine. That's completely up to you. But what I'm saying is like if Nusuk is obviously a bit more expensive, but for Pakistanis specifically, you're able to maintain dual citizenship, and so therefore, many Pakistanis they do decide to go. But yes, you will compromise on certain things.
The website I was checking last night, I'm gonna look at now when I go in. That your group is also offering for Pakistani passport.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Our group is also
But okay.
no, our group is also offering Hajj for we have multiple offices. One of our offices is in Pakistan. And so we have groups going from Pakistan, meaning through Pakistan.
And they do a ticketing as well, or that
If you want to go to Pakistan afterwards, you can go, inshallah.
it is going through your agent? Or
Yes,
not?
our agency. Yeah. So if you want to go with our Pakistani passport, that's fine also. Okay, we'll stop here, inshallah. I have a dawat that I'm actually very late for.
You need a
Alright.
dawah.
Jazakumullah khairan.
Yeah.
Subhanallah.